So what I do then is, let's say I've decided that my biggest weakness is traffic. Yeah, that is what a lot of people are here for. They want more traffic on the website. How do I get 1,000 more people per day on my website? So that could be a focus of your growth efforts for the next time. And you can now define what I call North Star metric that guides you towards that goal. If you have a traffic problem, what could you measure? Users, sessions, page views, something like that. Depending on what your business model is, you're interested in one out of those three. And then you would also say, okay, I have some support metrics because I don't want to just have more traffic. It should be quality traffic that it has at least engagement rate X, or the bounce rate is not higher than blah, blah, blah. Because it's always easy to get really cheap traffic from trash websites or influencers that just don't perform or have a lot of fake followers, but they will not do anything for you. Yeah, the December or November meetup was about native ads like Outbrain and Taboola, and they are very much a hit or miss medium for quality of traffic. You have to be really good at converting those people, otherwise they are just like there very cheaply, 5 to 10 cents, but then they are gone again. Yeah. So defining a reasonable North Star metric where you can drive, where you can just see every week when you look at it, yeah, that's where I'm making progress. Yeah, so defining your area where you have the biggest potential, sticking a KPI to it that really tells you, yeah, I'm making progress towards my 1,000 more users per day on my website. Yeah, that's a very simple to track one, thankfully. Then always turn it into a conversion goal in whichever tracking tool you're using. Who of you is using Google Analytics? Yeah, Facebook Analytics as primary metric. Yeah, Adobe people? Really? Fantastic, fantastic. Or at least they're interesting. Yeah. I got a feeling that a lot of the Adobe folks are currently making the switch to Google Analytics because of the genius move Google did with Alphabet. So they can still share the data across all their services. Yeah, Adobe is just not allowed. Yeah, but we are invested in so many Google products right now, like YouTube, Google Messenger, everything. Yeah, not Messenger, but Google emails. That it's easy now, since Alphabet is at the top, to share all the data between those individual services. And I think it's going to be really hard for any other data provider to give us the same level of truth, yeah, across the whole customer journey. Maybe Facebook can compete if we find a way to get 90–95% people to opt in. Yeah, which is actually something I'm thinking about. Maybe that's the thing we should talk about during the conversion rate optimization thing, is cookie acceptance optimization. Yeah, which is a really fun one at the moment, especially because we had some changes even in the USA on the 1st of December. We have a lot of children protection stuff going on YouTube, which is really interesting, or which is changing the scene quite dramatically. And figuring that out is super interesting. But important is you can track your North Star metric in your primary analytics tool and everywhere you spend money. If you spend money with Facebook, you need to be able to track that metric in your ads manager with every single campaign and every ad you see. Yeah. So then I asked myself, how can I make this visible for myself and the team on an everyday basis? I love to throw up like dashboards that you can see somewhere. With my team, we have a so-called weekly check-in where we just see our numbers every time, and everybody is responsible for a part of those numbers and reports on how the progress was. And then I think about how could I abuse this. As an example, as I mentioned, let's say 1,000 more people per day on your website can be easily abused by just going to like trash websites and getting traffic through display advertising, which is incredibly cheap but doesn't engage. So you have to think about, especially if you delegate that goal to somebody else in your team. You have to be conscious, how could this be abused? Or for example, I could very easily abuse engagement data by making the user experience really bad but ideal for my goal. Yeah, that is never the case. So I always give some reality check support metrics. Yes, this is my core, one North Star metric, but please do not mess it up by abusing it. Yeah, and the bigger the organization, the more the abuse factor is something that you actually have to account for, especially if you're hiring consultants, for example, who have a performance-based bonus. Yeah? Make very sure that you don't fool yourself with those. Okay, and then, of course, we have the support metrics to stay real. So this is an example of an idea validation process. I threw up a website for a cooking app, and I wanted to see how many people are interested. And this is the double opt-in conversion rate. That was my goal I wanted to primarily optimize for. I wanted to get as many leads as possible at a reasonable conversion rate. Yeah, and here I see, okay, it was Google Ads traffic, 15.2% converted to a double opt-in, but there is an improvement over time to roughly 25%, and that is what I want to see. Yeah, that is the metric I need to see all day, all night in my eyes. How can I improve that conversion rate? And in that scenario, what can we do on a landing page scenario to improve the double opt-in conversion rate? What would you guys say? Any takers? David?
A/B test the message that is presented to opt-in, or the pictures and the buttons.
On the landing page.
To copy the pictures.
Yeah, perfect. So you have optimizations you can do on the landing page. What else can we do?
Optimize your ads.
Yes, of course.
Your ads and your AdWords, search engine results.
Yep.
And all this stuff. So everything that is before the page, before the landing page, needs to be UX design.
Yeah.
So it needs to be fitted to your target group.
Yeah. So Isabella.
And if you go for a double opt-in, you can also optimize the emails to really display the button also, like on the lists, etc. So people don't even have to click in the email to do the double opt-in or something.
Yeah. The after-click experience. This is why I always say make a note of every step your user has to take in the journey, and somewhere you will lose them. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other ideas, Sophia?
As few required fields as possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
a
field like I've heard even for like a pizza delivery service, if you have to put in your telephone number, the conversion rate will decrease because people don't want to put their telephone number in there. And it's the same for example, the name, or maybe you require them to put in an address. So try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, if you want to improve your conversion rate. Who of you guys is in a B2B business? Yeah, there is always, if you have to talk to those people who sign up later, you're always like, yeah, I want to ask as few questions as possible, but I don't want to talk to unqualified people. But what lots of people make wrong at the beginning, they have too many form fields, but they don't even have the traffic that supports that. Yeah, at a later stage, for example, like a HubSpot has way too many leads than they could process with their salespeople. So they put in like 12 form fields and ask you everything, like your mother's name and your revenue and everything. And that helps them to qualify you, to give you a good lead score, and put you to the junior salesperson if you're a low account, and if you are a really high qualified account, you get the key account manager. Yeah. So that's what helps here. But all of those points are very valid. We optimize the ads, we optimize the landing page, and we optimize the sign-up process to the double opt-in. One thing we did that improved the double opt-in rate by 20% was we had a really boring single opt-in page. So once you opted in, there is just a blank page that says check your emails. Yeah. To confirm your email, we don't like spam. Yeah, something like that. Nothing else. No links. All they had to do was go somewhere else. If we sent them to the real website after that, they got lost, and our double opt-in rate dropped by 20% again. Yeah. So making a note of every step in the customer journey, even the ones you're not thinking about. I'm actually opening a screen when I'm doing it on my phone, and I take a note of every screen I'm on, every single one. I don't miss anyone, even if I think, hey, it's just a double opt-in screen. No. Needs to be there. I put it on a list, and I note down every action I'm supposed to take on that screen, yeah, or on that page. And each point is a point where you are 100% guaranteed to lose somebody. Yeah, and then I try to shrink the number of steps people have to take, and then I try to optimize the steps that they still have to take to be qualified. So that's really the focus. So generally, I would say growth goals have the goal to help you go into the right direction. Yeah, now we have to collect ideas that help us to get there. But first of all, we all need to go, the whole organization or my team needs to go in the same direction. And I tell you, that is not the case for most people. And having a big as one metric that unifies everybody really helped me. A book I really like for goal setting is Measure What Matters by John Doerr. Anybody else familiar with this one? Yeah, it's one of the foundational books with the OKR system, objective and key results. If you're interested in business goal setting, really great system to do it. Is there a recommendation for a very practical application book of this? Yeah, I have not found yet. This is more like I'm telling you a lot of stories. Yeah, and then if you look on YouTube, you find the good instructions. But I'm looking for a book or article that is super practical about this. If you have something, please share it in the Facebook group. All right, so that's the first part, setting good goals. Now what? What do I do next? How do I get to my goals? Yeah, normally in the good old world, we would now make a diabolical plan with 79 steps where we all check all boxes once we're finished. That was called the waterfall system. That has been proven mostly wrong by the development community. But we marketers sometimes still like to do it, but the growth marketing way is doing it in sprints. And sprints start with good ideas to what to do in the sprint.